Now let's turn our attention on one of the country's greatest politicians. I'm talking about Jerry John Rawlings, and the maternal family of the late president has appealed to government to build a museum at his home, Tajewu, to house his remains. According to them, his remains should be preserved in the museum, which would serve, among others, as a tourist destination. The Agbotui family head, Augustine Koblavi Agbotui, made this known in an interview with JoyNews. Fred Kwame Asari has more.
The late President Jerry John Rawlings was among the third descendants of Togbi John Koku Agbotui Nyaho from the Bate clan of Wugan-Zomali, Jelukope in Keta. He was born to the late Victoria Agbotui and James Ramsey John, a Scottish, in 1947. According to the Agbotui family, the late Rawlings spent some of his early days in Jelukope and never cut off ties with his family here.
This picture you are seeing here, this is the Rawlings' grandfather, the mother's father. The mother's father. His name is Emmanuel Gufi Agbotui, former court registrar. Okay. This is one of the grandmother, a sister to the grandfather called Helepe Agbotui. This Rawlings' mother, Madam Victoria Agbotui, is the daughter of Emmanuel Gufi Agbotui. Okay. You come here. gov't Agbotui is also a grandfather of Jerry John Rawlings. This is Agnes Doche Agbotui, also a grandfather of Jerry John Rawlings.
We'll bring you the rest of that report in our subsequent bulletins. Well, it appears the Progressive People's Party agrees with this call by the family. The PPP says the country needs to begin focusing on a tradition of encouraging the construction of museums and libraries for ex-presidents and not allow the determination of same to be made through the patronage and benevolence of any sitting president. It says these archival and museum structures, which will subsequently preserve our history and serve as tourist attractions to welcome millions of visitors each year. In a statement signed by General Secretary Parker Wakon, the party also expressed deep concern with the decision by President Akufo-Addo to rename the University for Development Studies, that's UDS, in Tamale after the late ex-president, describing it as inappropriate as former President Rawlings had earlier declined the offer. There's more in this report.
Notwithstanding these sentiments, and with all due respect to him, it is my strong belief that such an honor should be accorded him.
This was President Akufo-Addo renewing his intentions to rename the University of Development Studies 2 days after the demise of the man whose cash prize from the Hunger Project was used as seed money for the establishment of the school. Jerry John Rawlings. This will be the second time the idea is being hatched after it was initially rejected by Rawlings in 2019 on grounds of personal principles, an experience familiar to John Mahama from his first term as president.
He declined for the FPSO to be named after him. He says you can name it after any of our chiefs, our great chiefs, and he said that I prefer to be remembered in the hearts of men than by monuments and statues.
As the debate rages on about how appropriate or otherwise it is to posthumously confer on him an honor he rejected while alive, the Progressive People's Party believes Parliament must pass a Presidential Records Act to institutionalize the efforts of the state towards honoring past presidents. Parker Wakon is the party's General Secretary.
We are proposing that we should focus our attention and resources in building libraries and museums for our ex-president, because that will serve as a tourist attraction to many people. It would also be used as learning centers for our educational institutions. What we are calling for is not in respect of only for ex-president Rawlings, and that is why we've gone further to request Parliament to start a discussion on having a Presidential Records Act.
For JoyNews, Manuel Cranting.